Introducing Naturally You, a podcast celebrating the unfiltered stories of inspiring women, each one as rare, radiant, and resilient as a natural diamond. Welcome to Naturally You. I'm so excited because today we have an amazing female founder here that I admire so much, Miss Cyndi Ramirez Fulton, founder and CEO of Chillhouse.
That's right. Thank you so much for having me, Olivia.
Thank you for being here.
Congrats to you on all of your accomplishments.
I have been following Chillhouse, I feel like forever. It started as a kind of spa cafe, and now you guys have these amazing press-ons. Yeah. Did you always know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur? Like, tell us a little bit about you and your background.
I think I grew up not knowing what I wanted to do, which I feel like is a very good sign that you're probably meant to be an entrepreneur. I had no idea what I wanted to do, right? So I grew up in Queens. My mother's an entrepreneur.
So you're like a New York City girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Moved to Manhattan when I was 17. Didn't know where I wanted to go to college, what I wanted to study. Eventually kind of fell into fashion, as a fashionable girl does. And then, just kind of went about my life in New York and ended up like working in hospitality. I was a bartender at one point. I was a cocktail waitress at one point. And all throughout all that, I was kind of like just trying to figure myself out for many, many years of my life. I feel like it wasn't really until I met my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, but my husband, that I really started to become interested in the idea of becoming a founder and entrepreneur. And started exploring different ways of doing that. But Chillhouse was my first like real kind of tangible business, but I had like a couple of other little businesses before that.
And what about meeting your husband like inspired your entrepreneurship?
I think, well, he was just very smart and he kind of gave me a little bit of a crash course. I just felt like I had like someone I can maybe, go to for any advice, for any, just someone to
How did you guys meet?
On. At a nightclub.
Oh, really? Which one?
I mean, I don't know if you remember it. I don't know how old you are, but it was called The Plum.
Okay.
At the time. It became Up and Down at one point.
I know when it was Up and Down.
Up and Down, everyone knows. Yeah. As soon as I tell everyone should know Up and Down by now. If not, you're obviously like very Gen Z. Yeah. But no, we met there and he was in hospitality. He worked as a promoter at the time. He was working for Strategic Group and I was a cocktail waitress. And I think we dated on and off, but then eventually when we got serious, he was like, I always wanted to open up a bar. He had never really had like a corporate job. So he himself actually has never had like a real boss other than his internships. Yeah. Like he had like 2 internships and that's it. And he's only ever known entrepreneurship. So I think because I had someone like next to me all the time that was in it, it felt more accessible to me. It wasn't like I had to go through it alone. It wasn't like I had someone I was constantly bouncing ideas off of and they kind of gave me the confidence to just go and do it on my own. So I always say like that is super important because I feel like being an entrepreneur is such a lonely business or such a lonely journey, especially if you don't have, your girlfriends that understand what you're going through or family or really anyone. So the biggest thing is always to find a community. And I did, just in him alone, but then I eventually ended up getting a full-time job. Prior to becoming like full-blown entrepreneur, I got a full-time job that was all about supporting entrepreneurs. So it was a consultancy and literally it was an internship that turned into a full-time job. And my job was basically to do meetup events for people to connect and learn from each other and help each other's businesses. And so that's all I've really known, I feel like, other than like, my little jobs here and there.
So what like first sparked the idea for Chillhouse? Like what was the inspiration behind it? The
inspiration was an aha moment after just like a day in New York, just like trying to figure out what to do versus like, I feel like the default on a Saturday was always to get brunch and then like continue drinking in your 20s. And this is kind of when I think I was like my late 20s, early 30s. And I was like, I really just want a massage, but I don't want to spend like $300 right now. And I also don't want to go to like an establishment I don't think pays their team well. And it was a very clear, obvious split between the two worlds. And there was obviously something in the middle missing. So a lot of it actually was derived from that day, but it was when I stepped back and looked, it was a very 360 full circle kismet kind of business that was really just a manifestation of like me growing up watching my mom run her business because she was an esthetician too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I grew up in watching her in that world. And I think I always just wanted to basically like help her make it better, if that makes sense. I was like, can you please add nails? Like aesthetics are just kind of like for older people. Like, don't you want like some younger people to come through? I asked for that. I was like, can you please, like, I don't know, let's put on some good music. Like, this music's boring, like all these little like aesthetic tweaks. And she just, she didn't care. She didn't listen to me. And I was like, all right. But I think I really was just seeking to change what I wanted growing up from my mother. And that's kind of how Chillhouse really all came together. All the different things that I always wanted. I always thought that nail salons should have not just like offer you tea, when you sit down, like you should be able to get more than like tea. Like, why can't I get a matcha, So that's where the cafe came into place. And that's how, the nails have always been such a big part of my DNA. It's kind of like my creative outlet. So it all came together from just like different touch points of my life. You know what I mean?
And what year did like the first like Chillhouse location open, and what was that like?
2017. It was great. I mean, it was definitely met with a lot of positive feedback. Obviously some critics, but like mostly all great. And I think the brand itself had such I want to say like a big presence, you kind of like paid attention to it. You're like, it was in a very interesting time of like millennial world where, Glossier was like the hottest thing, and like the wing was open, and like there were so many
a different time.
Yeah, it was a different time. And I think Chillhouse was definitely like riding the coattails of all these different kind of like female founding kind of like startups, even though we were just a salon, you guys. There's a lot of pressure too. I was like, I've never done this before. I've never raised VC funding. I don't know what it's like to scale something. I just want to have a cute space that doesn't feel like your typical local salon. But there was so much expectation because of the way it looked and the branding and like how we kind of put our foot forward like so strongly, right? And we had all these incredible brand partnerships from the get-go. So I think there was just like a lot of pressure to make it bigger than it was. But at the end of the day, it worked out for me because I think that's what I wanted ultimately.
So, having this like amazing idea to actually like executing on, launching a beautiful physical space that you're servicing like clients with, you have a cafe, you have a lot to offer. Like, what were like the first steps you took? Was it raising money? And if so, like, how do you navigate doing that as someone who has like never done that before? Like, do you have any advice?
I mean, the money question is always dependent on who you are and like what kind of connections you are. If you think you can raise from friends and family, that's always a great option. But if you don't have those relationships, it's really, really difficult. I always say it really just depends on the kind of business you want to run and, where your relationships or where your connections lie. I think an SBA loan is a great way to go, but it's also kind of hard to do with no background experience. So it really just depends. For us, my husband had opened up 2 bars by then, I think. So we already had a little bit of experience in getting angel investors to invest in our businesses. And so that, I wouldn't say it was easy. It was one of the hardest things we've ever had to do. And we only raised, I think, like $345,000, maybe 4, like around 4 or under. So not a lot given you're building a space, you're doing branding, you're getting a team, you're getting like merch, you're getting printed assets. Like there's so many expenses. But yeah, I think one of the first things we did was really just obviously look for a space because there's so much that it's like you kind of have to do everything at the same time. You have to find the right space. You have to sell people on the space. You have to do the branding, sell people on the branding and, the potential space. And then the landlord's like, well, when are you going to give me money to do, to put the deposit on the security deposit down? We're like, when we raise money, so it's always like a chicken or the egg. And then eventually, if it's meant to be, the timing will work out.
And so how has like Chillhouse evolved from that like first idea or like concept? And I know now most people will think of Chillhouse as like amazing, like press on nails.
Yeah.
So how did you pivot or evolve the business?
No, it's interesting. Yeah, because I feel like because I'm in New York, I'm talking so much about the flagship and like the origin story and how we started. But to a lot of people now, they just know us as a press-on brand because that's how they discovered us, which is really crazy for me to think about and kind of shift not the narrative, because the narrative is always what the original story is and it's always going to stay that way, but to like just remind myself that not everyone has the full story and the full context of how Chillhouse came to be. But yeah, over COVID, August 2020, we launched our press-on. So it was just a really good time to launch anything in nail care. Everyone was still...
How did you deal with like COVID and like not being able to like operate your physical space?
I mean, we closed the stores and just applied for as many PPP loans as we possibly could and just kind of use that money to go towards actually launching product and invested most of our resources there. So that was the reason we were able to kind of come out of COVID alive. And eventually we reopened the doors. And honestly, like 2020, late 2020, 2021 was like, I mean, it was a fake boom, financial boom. So everyone was actually spending more. Our books were booked and busy. Like we were thriving that year, actually. So it was really interesting to have felt like, the flagship was like bustling again. And then also like our tips business was doing really well. And then like everything kind of flattens out, right? After that. But yeah, the shift was really important to us because I knew I always wanted to do something outside of just the brick and mortar space. Like I always felt that the brand had legs. I just didn't really know exactly what made sense for us. Like we tested candles, we tested body care, we tested all these different things and nothing quite stuck like press-ons. Like nothing, no matter how hard we tried. And I think it's because it's in our DNA. We've been doing nail art in our store since day one.
Yeah.
And our nail art was very recognizable.
It was. And I feel like that was like the beginning of when nail art was like ubiquitous. Like before, like not everyone had nail art, and I feel like Chillhouse was one of the first like brands where you could recognize the nail art and everyone wanted to actually have nail art.
Yeah, everyone was really like all about our designs and they came there specifically for those designs. And I would get DMs every day, people wanting us to open up salons in their cities. And I was like, I love your city, but I don't really want to open up another salon for a long time. And so I felt like the best solution was to just basically take our designs and put them on press-ons. And it was a nice way for us to also control the experience a little bit better, right? Press-ons are a great way for, as a brand, for us to be like, okay, we stand behind this. Whereas like polish, you're left to your own devices.
It depends, like, on the person, on the day, whatever. Yeah.
And polish obviously was kind of one of those products that have been around forever. Like there was nothing like innovative necessarily happening in the polish space. Whereas like press-ons were very on the up and up and was like ripe for disruption. And we just kind of came in at the right time with the right product and the right, and so that really ended up, I think, changing the trajectory of Chillhouse.
And so since introducing the press-ons, how has the business been navigating? Like, what are some things that you're prioritizing? What are some things that like surprised you along the journey?
I mean, it's all surprising. I'd say forecasting is one of the hardest things of what we do. And I don't have to do it.
Because now it's a totally different business. You have to like place orders, like know how much of each SKU you're gonna do. It's like a totally different thing, right?
Yeah, I have to somehow become like like a forecaster, like an actual like trend forecaster. Like, we don't have access to, I don't know, like WGSN or whatever, all these like forecasting platforms, right? We never had access to that. We still don't. I go off my intuition and my gut, and a lot of it is also like salon based. Like I kind of see how what are the trends like in the store and how are people reacting to our designs in the store, and that's kind of how a lot of our like actual products get made is from that data. So yeah, it's been hard in different ways. I feel like the missteps are much more expensive than like a mistake at the flagship. Like, what's a mistake? Like somebody calls out last minute and we miss, maybe $800 worth of services that day. If we have like a little misstep with our product inventory, like we under forecast or we over forecast, we could have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stock that we have to sell through somehow. Or we missed out on hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of what could have been potential sales. So the little mistakes are so much greater at the end of the day, even though there is like the upside could be greater.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how many stores do you have now?
Just the one. So we're actually renovating our flagship, and it'll be reopening in time for Fashion Week.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, it was time for a refresh. So instead of opening up new locations, we're just like, let's focus on this one. Let's make it great. And then if we feel up for it, who knows? Let's see what happens.
How quickly can you like turn around like new designs for your chill tips based on the data that you're getting from the flagship store?
Well, I mean, we can design things if we want to fly them in. We can design things within like three months, and we have. We don't want to all the time because that's very expensive. But yeah, we're like about 6 months. 6 months out.
Okay, that's not too bad.
I currently have like most of my Q1 done for next year, which is very, very rare for me. I'm like, who am I? This is so strange.
So
but
prepared.
It's nice to be ahead. Well, now we're a big retailer, so we have to submit all of our designs well in advance.
So how did you go from direct consumer to the big retailers?
I was just, I guess, a little lucky. Urban reached out to us first. I feel like they're really good at being early adopters of like cool new brands, and they found us. I randomly had the buyer connection because I had like a tiny little nothing beauty brand that I don't even talk about millions of years ago. And so I've worked with her in the past. And so she had been following me. She saw that we were doing it, and she slid right in and got them first. And then Target came through a marketing opportunity, actually, because they wanted to feature me for Hispanic Heritage Month. So that was kind of like a test into Target. And I think that was in 2021. And then that went well. So they brought us in line. And then it's been like growing year over year since.
How have you been navigating like the new world with like tariffs and all of that?
Oh, it's been brutal. It's torture. I mean, we try to, we just have to factor it in now. It's just part of the expense of doing business, I think. And just being a little bit more mindful of how to cut costs in other ways. So like not flying things in, being more tactful, and like, in how we order, not like placing things, like ordering things in a rush anymore. So there are ways that we're trying to figure it out. I don't know that we're going to increase prices, though I know a lot of brands have done that. I'd rather not. We're already kind of on the premium side at retail. So certainly don't want to have to do that. And I just hope it's one big bad dream. I don't know. I'm waiting for it to all go.
Same. I'm like just waiting for it to like pass.
I just think it's all like, I don't know, Ashton Kutcher is going to come out and be like, you're all punks. I'm just kidding. I don't know. For now, we're just trying to focus on what we do best.
So after 8 years with Chillhouse and as an entrepreneur, like what are some of the most surprising things you've learned along your journey, or like any tips for aspiring entrepreneurs?
The most surprising things that I've learned across the journey. I mean, so I was actually talking about this earlier with Jacqueline Johnson. I think I asked her kind of a similar question to you. And she brought up a great point, which is like get the trademarks, do all that stuff early. Like all the things that you're like, oh, I'll get to it eventually. Like do it sooner than you think, because those are the kind of mistakes or the things that you forget to do that could bite you in the ass. Like the not glamorous stuff, the administrative nonsense, the things that really eat up time during like always the most inconvenient times. Yeah. It's better to set yourself up in the beginning for all these what ifs, even if it feels like it costs you a little bit too much money. Like it's better to be over prepared in that sense. And I always say like, otherwise like things are going to be imperfect. It's better to just start. Progress over perfection, just one step at a time, 1 foot forward, and then it'll all happen much faster. And then you can react. If it's not working, you could fix it faster. Like you give yourself more time to actually iron out the kinks if you actually just get started versus making everything perfect.
Yeah, I totally agree. I always say like it's better to just get something out there sooner rather than later than wait for something to be perfect, because then you waited too long.
Yeah, and then someone else can come in and do the same thing. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Kick yourself in the ass. Who wants that?
On this journey, you also became a mom of 2 kids.
Yes.
How have you changed as a person and your priorities, like from being like an entrepreneur, like super focused, and now you still are, but like you also have a family?
I think it's just sticking to a calendar. I know that doesn't sound that exciting, but it's true. And
has your like view of, you know, growing a business or you as a person changed from that?
I think so. I used to think that like my company and business was the most important thing in the world, and perspective now is like completely shifted. And like, if it goes away tomorrow, I have my kids, I have my family, I'm more than happy. Like everything changes when you have children, I think. But they also know mommy loves what she does. You know what I mean? And they also love what I do. And I bring them into the mix. They go to my husband's bars. They know Chillhouse. They go to visit Chillhouse at Target. They come to the store every time. So they're in it too. And they're excited about it. I mean, Stevie literally like gets her nails done. Like she comes into the office and asks for polish and makes me do her nails. She's almost 2. She probably shouldn't be getting her nails done. But I think they're excited, and I don't think they see it as competition in any way. I think it's like so ingrained into who we are too as humans that it doesn't. It's like, yes, mommy's working, daddy's working. Like that could be annoying to them, but they know, and like eventually, like it all bleeds into one thing that we all love to do together in some way. So I haven't felt that it's been like in any way disruptive to my success or career growth. I think if anything, it's only amplified it, because like now I know so many moms who are going through it too. And I just have like a much better support system in a way too. It just, I don't know. There's something about having kids. I feel like it levels you up entirely. You become a real woman. Not to say that like real women that don't have kids, I don't want it to come off that way, but like I feel grown up now, if that makes sense, because I'm taking care of these 2 things. Whereas before I was like, I feel like I'm just like, I don't know, running around with my head cut off. Like I could have just like done whatever, and I was reckless, and like I just didn't have like a sense of structure. And now with the kids, they like make you have a sense of structure. You have to wake up early. You have to really, you value your time so much more. Like so much more. So every minute counts. Every minute counts with work. Every minute counts with your like physical, like how you take care of yourself, you know, and you get those, you just like become so meticulous with how you use your time.
And I was always nervous to have kids, I feel like, because I was like, oh, it's going to take my eye off the ball, or like the business, I won't focus. But I think it actually makes you even more focused, because you don't really, you're like, oh, like I'm either with my kid or I'm like focused on making this as successall as possible.
Totally. Exactly. There's like almost no time to like mess around anymore.
No distractions. Well, I'm loving all your style, all your jewelry. So I was hoping that we could play a little like fun game with some engagement rings that we have.
I'm ready for an upgrade, Adam.
When did you get engaged?
20. Oh shit. Okay, we are almost 10 years in. It's 2025. So yeah, we got engaged 10 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
10 years.
I'm due.
Did you like participate in the process of designing your ring or anything like that? It was a total surprise.
He did a great job. Yeah. And I still love it. It's small, but it's beautiful.
No, it's beautiful.
I love it.
It's so unique. I think it's kind of similar. Like it has the baguettes in the side.
Exactly. Cushion.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not good at diamonds.
Were you surprised by the proposal?
Yeah. He did a really good job.
How did he propose?
He wrote me a song.
That's so cute.
It's so cute. And he put it on in the car. He like pretended to have a meeting. He's like, can you come with me? Like he like had an agency that like had no employees, but he liked to act like he had employees. So he's like, can you come with me to this meeting? Like just so we can help me sign this client. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And so he had an agency at the time while also running bars. He's a crazy person. So he just like gets me in the car. He's like, hey, he's like, I just heard the song. I really love it. Can I put it on? I'm like, okay, weirdo. Yes, of course. Like, what? And he puts it on and I'm like, is this you? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, where are you taking me? And then he pulls aside to my favorite street in New York, which is Commerce, like right in front of like Cherry Lane Theater, right there. I've always loved it because it's like this little nook, and then you just feel like you're getting lost in like the most beautiful part of the West Village. And he did it there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cute and so romantic.
It's very cute. Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look at some of these. We'll start with a classic style. This is an oval on a yellow gold band with a hidden halo.
Okay.
Who would wear this ring? Like, who is the woman that wears this ring?
She's like modern, Upper East Side, dates a finance guy. She probably is also in finance, but she's looking to retire soon when she has her first kid.
Yeah. Love it. So,
I mean, I love it. I've always loved this. I would probably add like a band that's a litlittle bit more.
Funkier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, classic.
Super classic, gorgeous. How many carats is this?
That's 4.5, I believe. I'll give you the price later.
Okay. Obsessed.
Okay, awesome. This one's a little bit different. This is a trois and moi, so a 2-stone ring with a 2-carat oval and 2-carat pear shape. This is set in our ivy setting, so it's kind of like a swervy, more organic style.
This is me.
That's you?
This is me. She is me.
And who is she?
She's creative. She's trendy, but also like has her own personal style, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So she's fashion forward, fashionable. Probably lives downtown somewhere or LA.
Would you?
Like Silver Lake.
What are your thoughts on resetting your engagement ring? Like, are you someone that wants to keep it always one way, or would you like reset it as like your personal style changes?
I think if I had something simple, I would reset it. But my husband got something custom and it feels very unique. So I would keep that and probably hand it down to Stevie one day and just always upgrade as we make more money.
But the concept of resetting is not something you're opposed to.
No. I mean, again, if I had like a simple ring, I would probably want to edit it as I go. So I love the idea of like getting a classic ring and then like always tailoring it as your style changes. I think that's really special.
Yeah, I love that.
But I don't think this would need resetting. I think she's special on her own.
This one's the favorite so far.
Yes.
Okay, what about this? This one is a 4.5 carat marquee set in yellow gold with a pave knife edge band.
Okay. So not my favorite cut, but I do love a diamond.
Like a pave diamond band.
Pave diamond band. She's giving like Miami mama. Like she's hot, she's sexy, she loves a little flash, she loves to be seen, and yeah, she worked hard for this. Okay.
And what about this one? Is a fancy yellow pear shape with white pear shaped side stones.
So I feel like she's like kind of traditional, but also like a little bold in her style, if that makes sense. Like she doesn't want like the regular diamond cut. She wants something a little bit more unique, but she also is like, I don't know, I'm also feeling like Upper East Side classic, but like with a twist.
Is she like young or like, is this like
she's young. Yeah. She's a little like, I don't know, a little less, I don't know. Am I doing this right?
Yeah, there's no wrong way to do it.
I mean, I always wanted a canary. I thought canaries were beautiful, but then I was like, I don't know, like maybe I just want. So I just feel like these shapes together to me feel a little bit more like I like a.
She's classic, but like different.
Yeah, she just likes to stand out, even though she's also traditional. She's definitely a lady who lunches, but like she would lunch at Barney's.
Yeah. And last but not least, we have emerald cut with emerald cut side stones and platinum.
This is stunning. I feel like she's so timeless. She could go in any direction. She could be, if we're talking New York, she could be from anywhere. But she like really cares about quality cuts and quality jewelry that like stands the test of time and that isn't like necessarily trendy in any way.
Like super timeless.
Yeah, timeless, but still has like a good sense of style.
Love it. I agree. I think emerald cuts are like very elegant.
Super elegant. Yeah, she probably wears like all black. She likes to pull her hair back in a bun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you compare like New York versus Miami now living in Miami?
I mean, it's true what they say with Miami that it's like flashy and like very, a lot of it is about appearances, but you also get a lot of creative types. You get a little bit of everything. It is a city at the end of the day. So to me, it's a really good, like a good melting pot, but it definitely is more focused on like fitness, health, wellness, way more than New York, I would say. Because we're always in bikinis.
Yeah, you're always outside. Everyone's looking good. What do you miss about New York the most?
I mean, like everything. The culture, I'd say, is the biggest thing. You just have so many different types of people here versus Miami. It's definitely far less. So I'd say that, like the arts, like, just being able to get all the different kind of elements of life. It's really hard. That's what makes New York the most special place in the world,
Yeah. Do you think you'll stay long term or ever come back?
I mean, we're here all the time, so I don't know. Never say never.
My dream, because I'm from Miami, is to be a snowbird.
Yeah. No, that is the dream.
Yeah.
And
because I feel like it's like really vibrant and exciting during the winter there too. I mean, the traffic is crazy, but
that's all you ever want. When you're in New York, in the winter, all you want to be is in Miami. And then when it's summertime, all you want to do is be in New York.
Yeah.
So if you can figure out a way to do it both, it's like the best of both worlds.
So where do you see like your business going now? Like, what are some exciting things that you hope to do with it? Or would you ever like start another company ever?
You never know. I mean, I'm not working on anything right now, but I don't think that Chillhouse is the only thing I'm about. I do think it's like a huge part of my life and I love it so deeply, but I think there's so much more to me as a woman. And like, so yeah, I'm always down to explore other things further down the line. But where is it going? I really want it to be very big brand. I don't know.
The big vision, yeah.
I have the big vision for sure. I definitely want it to be in all your favorite retailers, and it will be. We're working on that. Mm-hmm. I want it to tell a bigger story than nail care, but also be obviously mostly about nail care. I want it to inspire people. Mm-hmm. I want it to be a brand that you go to for inspiration, really. Mm-hmm. Like that's my goal.
What inspires you in terms of anything like design or your creative juices?
Oh, so much. I mean, I definitely look at art. I look at artists. I love home decor. Home decor is such a big part of what I obsess about every day, aside from beauty. But I think just honestly staying on the pulse of what's happening with marketing, with just creative as a whole, even staying on top of like AI, what's happening there. I think it's really important as entrepreneurs for us that's like a big part of our jobs, right? Mm-hmm. To always be looking at like what other people are doing without copying, just more like just staying on the pulse of things. Mm-hmm. So that's a big part of how I derive inspiration and maybe like see into the future, and just conversations and having friends that I can riff off it with, if I'm ever stuck, like if I ever have like a creative rut, I know I have like a few people I turn to, like, what do you think of this? And their advice helps me see a lot more clearly too.
And like, as someone who has a business in like a pretty like competitive space, what sets like Chillhouse or the products like apart in terms of like the other competitors?
Say our secret sauce is always the fact that we have a physical space, mm-hmm. that we have a physical community, mm-hmm. that we have people that touch our products every day in person in our store, and that it gets to experience them on our nails through our nail techs. Mm-hmm. That's by far our biggest upper hand. That human connection mm-hmm. that so many brands don't have.
Yeah, totally.
It's not saying that they're not good brands, that they don't have good products or formulators or chemists, but at the end of the day, we have just an upper hand in the other sense. We are able to connect with our community in person, get real-time feedback, get real-time inspiration from them. There have been many times where people are like, you should really do this. And I'm like, maybe I should, and it's so helpful. And like, yes, I could get that in my DMs too, but I feel like you listen to people when you actually get to do this in person.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
So that's been our biggest secret sauce, I'd say.
So what is something that you now would tell 2017 Cyndi, who was starting Chillhouse?
Say, start products sooner, girl. Yeah. Do press-ons. Don't wait till 2020. Yeah. But yeah, that's probably it. Not that anything would have, we just would have been like maybe a little bit further ahead revenue-wise. Mm-hmm. But I think it just would have been better for us. We wouldn't have struggled as much. We were really like, it was a really, really hard business to run for a few years. It still is. It's a very hard business to run because we do everything. But we struggled a lot. Our margins were super tight. Like I'm saying, like I'm telling people that I want an affordable spa, but I'm also telling my team that you deserve good wages. And I understand why spas are expensive now.
Yes, yeah.
There's very little room left for the business.
Yeah. Definitely. I understand. We're on very small margins too, in like a space that people think is like luxury, whatever.
For sure.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Well, this was really exciting. Where can people like follow, purchase, all of that good stuff?
Just chillhouse.com. You can shop Chillhouse at Target, recently in Walmart.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, we're starting in, I think, 400 doors, like a little under 400, but next year, hopefully more. So we're officially in those 2 retailers, which is really exciting. We're on Amazon, chillhouse.com. Always is the best place to shop.
So everywhere.
Yeah.
And where can people follow you personally?
Just Cyndi Ramirez, CYNDI.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This was so much fun.